Hi guys, I'm filming this video much sooner than I anticipated, which is a good thing. It might be long, but I try to make entertaining. So my past few weeks and days have been busy and transformative. Maybe because I have ended some cycles in my life, for example, my degree in psychology, and also because I have been traveling alone and reconnecting with a very primal aspect of who I am, what I like doing, what I am good at, and long story short, yesterday, perhaps one of the busiest days of my life, I received a confirmation email saying finally that I met all the necessary criteria for acceptance into the Psychedelic Practitioner training, alongside with a formal invitation to enroll the program starting next month. So during this course, I will be trained to hold spaces or retreats for people interested in psychedelic therapy, specifically administrating psilocybin, which is the more scientific name for magic mushrooms. And this was, of course, fantastic news, except that the cost immediately put me under a very familiar, anxious kind of feeling of like, okay, here we go again. I have to be quite strategic here and I start to think about it, and frankly that's not how I like to live my life, and most importantly that's not how I like my daughter to feel. It is important to me that we feel safe, abundant and free, and however, conflicting with this, I had this desire to take the opportunity. Some of you here do know about my passion and belief in altered states of consciousness, substance-induced or not, for example, through yoga or breath work. However, undoubtedly, the experience induced by psilocybin is very intense, and the research confirms the almost miraculous use of this psychoactive. I think it is fair to say that I felt a call towards psychedelics for a few years now, but on top of that, I'm also starting my master's degree in the same subject, which is well related to the mind. And the costs are high, and as well the time to work is less. So again, long story short, I thought, how am I going to do that? And then I thought about crowdfunding, and I watched a few YouTube videos, and one friend in particular, she encouraged me to give it a go, but to be realistic, because these things can take time, like 6 to 9 months was her estimate, even because my target was considered high, £10,000. And I say that I shooting this video before I expected, because my ego didn't want to embarrass itself and come here and share this appeal. Because I don't know, it just takes a lot for anyone to appear vulnerable. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do the crowdfunding and I'm gonna sit down, wait and see. And very quickly, my first donation came from a dear friend who wished to remain anonymous while I was sleeping. So I woke up quite happy. This morning I was quite exhausted from the day before. I had to cancel my class, and instead I stayed at home and kept working on sharing my page and connecting with possible donors. And here is when it becomes, I think, entertaining because for my dismay, 10 hours after my page went live, I received a donation of £5,000 from a person that I've met once. And I can't give more information about this person because the person is private. But this video is inspired by this gesture, and I'm sharing it here because this person believes that generosity is contagious and that I will help someone in the future. That was the rationale behind his gesture. I'm also sharing this video to express deep gratitude for every penny received. All is important and appreciated. So thank you to all my donors, and this experience has been quite humbling. Saying that, now I am more than convinced that I will reach my target way before I thought, not in 6 months, but I think in a few days or weeks or even months. So if you want to support me with anything, I believe the minimum donation is £10, and I also understand that the minimum is a lot, but I am also confident that your help will contribute to the person that I am becoming. This person has a duty to give something back in alignment with my donor's prophecy. And taking more personal, along many healing modalities, psychedelics have been incredibly helpful in my journey. And I think, like every yoga teacher or therapist, psychotherapists have a particular style. I feel that after this course I will become better at helping others understand the positive effects of these substances. That is not a given. We do have to work, and is also far from a epiphany. In my experience, what allows for dramatic change is our ability to sit down with our pain, and also a commitment with incremental improvements years after going under therapy. I now know that any visible change in our fortune or in who we perceive ourselves to be, is the manifestation of all the deep, slow, invisible and internal work. So that was my final pitch to secure my placement, and I think this will be my focus when working with people looking for transformation through psilocybin, if that interests you. And I suppose that if you are donating, you wanted to know what I'm doing with your money. Psilocybin as well, I will mention, is what allowed me to connect with my inner child, which is another story, but I will say that this experience of crowdfunding is helping me. It helped me in recovering a childhood memory that comes sometimes in my mind, because when the part of me who once was a child had to fight and figure out. And I remember once I had this target to sell some raffles, and the other kids' parents, like my family, they had money, so they bought a few tickets, and I felt embarrassed to go back to school with empty hands. So I remember going door to door in my neighborhood, and in one afternoon, I sold more tickets than my whole classroom. So this crowdfunding is giving me this feeling that everything in my disjoint, chaotic past is clicking into place, a little bit like fate. So as a child, that was one of the first times that I felt pride, and I could recognize some skills that I had, and today I feel the same. So so that was quite personal, but the link for the donation is under my bio. Please donate, and in 13 months I'll be getting a qualification as a psilocybin practitioner. That was always the plan. For a moment it looked very far, but now is within reach. And finally, before I go, I think sometimes I might annoy people, because this theme of being perceived as lucky is quite recurring in my life. And for those who know me, they know I'm not lucky in the rational or in the traditional use of the word, but I do have a almost naive belief in possibilities. I think it was Wayne Dyer, the writer, who said once that people say, show me and I will believe, but the correct order is believe and it will show up to you. So I think I am a believer, and this last bit is just, I'm feeling happy, and maybe this can inspire you if you need some sign to carry on whatever you are doing. So the message is for this last bit is believe in yourself, and others will too. Thank you.